Venturing into the icy extremes of the planet, polar explorers faced not only the biting cold, but also the unforgiving challenges to their health. How did they survive in an era where medical science was evolving? Let's take a closer look at the medicine boxes that carried their lifeline. Polar expeditions in the 19th and early 20th century were fraught with danger. Food spoilage, vitamin deficiencies, infections and frostbite were constant threats. Medicine boxes were carefully packed with remedies and tools to counter these challenges. This medicine box dates back to the 1850s and belonged to the infamous Franklin expedition. This is the expedition where 2 ships went missing and all of their crew too. In 1859, as part of the search, a rowing boat with skeletons and various artifacts were found, including quite a complete medicine chest, as you can see here, which is on display at the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, and I took this picture. It contains 25 small bottles, canisters of pills, ointment, plaster and oiled silk. Silk would have been used for wound dressings and the oil would have given it a level of waterproofing. Snow blindness, fungal sores, ulcers, gangrene, diarrhea, broken teeth and more plagued polar explorers. On the Discovery expedition, Scott's Dr. Edward Wilson carried a basic medical pack designed to tackle these ailments, and this included chalk powder, bismuth and lead compound with opium for antibacterial and astringent reasons, and it could also treat diarrhea and ulcers. There would also be a tonic containing the highly toxic poison strychnine, which was used to boost endurance and stamina. However, it was a very dangerous medicine which could lead to severe muscle spasms and death if overdosed. Pain relievers like chlorodyne, which contained opium, cannabis tincture and chloroform treated neuralgia, migraines and insomnia. Other supplies range from quinine for fever, cascara for constipation and calomel for purging, to mercuric chloride as an antiseptic. Bandages, plasters, scalpels and the like completed this kit. Even liquid cocaine found its place, providing relief for snow blindness and stove fumes. Concerns around health and polar exploration was such a worry for those in charge. Captain Scott, for example, sent everyone on his crew for dental checkups before the Discovery expedition in 1901. 92 teeth were removed from Scott's men and 170 holes were filled. One of the greatest dangers faced was scurvy, caused by a lack of vitamin C. Although they didn't know that then, they didn't understand the medical reasons behind it. They did understand that if they ate fresh meat or fresh fruit or lime juice, as they thought, it would help prevent scurvy. So symptoms included fatigue, swollen, bleeding gums, loosening of teeth, joint pain and swelling, skin bruising and easy bleeding, and poor wound healing. It was utterly miserable. If untreated, it would lead to anemia, infections, and ultimately death. On Robert Falcon Scott's 1901 Discovery expedition, the team focused heavily on combating this dreaded disease. Scott prioritised catching seals, as one seal could feed the whole crew for 2 days. Injury and illness were inevitable for polar explorers. With disinfectants and rudimentary surgical tools, they fought to treat wounds in the unforgiving environment. Frostbite demanded treatments often improvised with limited resources, such as warm water baths and gentle massages to restore circulation. Despite these measures, tissue damage and infection frequently occurred, often resulting in gangrene in some cases. The medicine box here was supplied to Captain Scott in 1910 for the British Antarctic expedition, later to be commonly known as the Terra Nova expedition. The box was found buried at the foot of the Beardmore Glacier at 79 degrees south in 1912 after the death of Scott. It contained 39 bottles of various medicines, needles, an eyedropper, and so on. This medicine box is now in the collection of the Wellcome Trust in London. On this ill-fated expedition, Edgar Taft Evans cut his hand while adjusting a sledge. He hid this fact from Scott as he wanted to be part of the group that went to the South Pole. Unfortunately, without modern antibiotics and treatment, his hand wound deteriorated and contributed to his physical decline during the return journey. In addition to this, the poor man suffered frostbite and a head wound from falling into a crevasse. He was the first of the men to die on this expedition on the 17th of February 1912. Thankfully, Today's modern polar explorers benefit from more advanced medicine and technology, and the days of liquid cocaine and strychnine are firmly in the past. So, from scurvy to frostbite, polar explorers carried more than survival tools. They carried the legacy of determination and courage that continues to inspire adventurers today. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.